Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Big Idea podcast. Boy, we have a special show today. Not only is it Halloween, but we've got one of our favorite Canadians, not to mention favorite people, Brandi Lindgren on. Brandi, for anyone who doesn't know, is just a terrific person. She's got a great company called Disclose, which is Diskloz. And her website is so comprehensive and so simple. I even understood it. And, my comprehension is a minimal, to say the least, when it comes to tech. So without further ado, coming here dressed as a skeleton, either that or you have a very strict diet, we have Brandi Lindgren.
Awesome. What an intro. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Our pleasure.
It's should be a fun afternoon.
Yep. Tell us
absolutely.
About yourself, your company. Just tell us.
Awesome. Well, I have been in automotive and asset financing since I was 18 years old. And I'll be honest, it's 26 years or 28 years now. I'm even giving myself the wrong math, but yes, 28 years. I spent half of my career in the finance office at different asset type dealerships, as well as in the lending side. So I've worked for two of our main prime banks here in Canada, as well as two non-prime and even one non-prime from the States, AmeriCredit. So I've held a variety of positions on both sides of the fence in the finance world. And then that all of my experience rounded up and led me on to create Disclose and MotoClose. So what started as an F&I menu that was based solely on disclosure. I'm a full disclosure salesperson. So I created a menu that was based on disclosure of everything from the vehicle and all products, mostly ensuring that as a finance manager, we ensure we offer every product, every solution, and every option every time. And so during that build, it started as an F&I menu and then turned into kind of what we label as a CRM reimagined. So it's a very unique system that allows not only a full-blown CRM and all those attributes, but the ability to communicate and share information with the client in a central location. Everything from asset, vehicle details, right up into sharing details of your inventory, even onto Facebook. So we went with a roundabout solution, and it's going live at the same time as a brand new third-party marketplace for buying and selling inventory. So that was a spring off from the original idea as well. And so we created MotoClose, which is an all-asset platform for buying and selling vehicles. So while we are just launching in Canada, we do really want to focus on the ability to simultaneously do something down south at the same time.
Makes sense. Now, as far as the CRM reimagined concept, is there also CRM explained? Because from what I can tell from talking to most GMs and GSMs, most salespeople don't know a CRM exists, other than that they're getting hollered at for not putting their information into it.
Yeah. And that's actually,
this is my wife dressed up for
What do we
Halloween,
got?
and this is actually a dog dressed as a cat. We have a hell of a set of costumes here.
Happy Halloween.
That's awesome. It looks amazing.
I love it.
We don't get out of the house
so
much,
good.
but we obviously have
I
a lot of
love
fun.
it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fun.
fantastic. So that was the big thing. I think, even in the build.
Wait a minute, your dog got jealous when he heard me say the dog was dressed up as a cat.
Yeah, he's gonna go eat the mailman.
I'm surprised mine's not barking yet. So just to warn, that may actually happen.
Whose dog is barking? I hear somebody.
It's mine. It's Tucker. It's
Oh,
Tucker.
okay.
It's the puppy.
We have a puppy too. What do you got?
A golden doodle.
So we have a German Shepherd, 4 months old. He's just, yes, he is dull for
He's a
sure.
little neurotic.
Did you see that, Larkin? We went from a technical explanation of CRM to an SPCA commercial. Boy, that was a quick pivot, even for me.
All right,
really,
back to
really
it. Yeah.
gone to the dogs now. Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
This is why I handle the funny stuff, Larkin.
Yeah.
You started
I'll
it.
go on
You
mute.
started it.
I'll step off the stage.
Brandi, Do you have dealers using the program right now currently?
Yeah, absolutely. And so we have one of the last integrations we did is, and it's just finishing up, is actually with JD Power. And so what it'll do is it actually solved two of our really big problems. It allowed for us to communicate with every and any single website provider out there to auto funnel inventory right into our system, but it also brings it in decoded with a one-to-one VIN match. So that was a big hurdle to overcome. As you know, dealers, we don't all want to do the most work. So, having the inventory auto funneled in with a one-to-one VIN match was just so monumental. We ran with a really small pilot of stores to do that, but the what we had done is set up that as soon as that was done, that we have a load of dealers to be onboarding. And so that's happening over these next couple of weeks. So beyond any of the pilots that we've done, there's been just really incredible response. And, like to what Larry had actually started with was the CRM reimagined. When the build started, it started as a menu. So as funny as that is, every spot that I stopped, I definitely took it a step further. But it was all about not necessarily doing what other people did, more so about I know this is a problem. And if I implement this right here, it's going to solve that problem that happens every day. And so really it was such a the build was four years long of constant going a little bit to market, taking on new dealers, taking on pilots, running with stores that were willing to contribute and help in the stages that we were in. To bring us to this point was important, but we also didn't overflood with the amount of pilots that we did. I always say that why piss off a bunch of dealers because you're going to piss people off at that time, right? So stay with the ones that are going to stay loyal, but the response not only in the industry and dealers, but also in us attracting the right people to sell it has been really monumental too. I did just bring on, and it's not announced yet, so I'm not going to say who, but I did just bring on a COO to really run with everything that one I'm not good at, but also that I don't want to do. So, everything from building the proper team. For us, I really think one of our monumental differences in the CRM DMS world is that it's not a love them and leave them. It is the people that we're bringing on are seasoned people that care about the industry, that might be a little bruised by it, that might be a little not tainted yet, but know that they want to make the difference in the industry. And so, yes, it's a great system, and yes, the things that are coming are game changing for what anybody else is doing. It's the team and the support that's going to make the difference in the relationship we give our dealers, for sure.
Hey, Brandi, what I noticed, it was the ease of operation with your system. I always brag about I'm the guy that answers his phone and I write stuff down. So, I'm kind of on the outside circle of tech stuff, but I can tell you that for anybody that's not very tech savvy like yourself, like Mr. Larkin, it's a pleasure when we get involved with a system that's easy to use, because when things become difficult, people get frustrated. And I think our frustration level, the bar is lower than it's ever been. Everybody's impatient. Everybody wants things to happen like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you. And that was even the thing. It wasn't even only about solving solutions or solving problems, sorry, with solutions. It was about, it doesn't there's a lot of fluff in the systems right now that are underused anyway or not even used at all. And so when we think about even the transfer over, like one thing we've really talked about lately is okay, it's great if a dealer loves everything that it does, but then what does it look like to transfer them from one system to another? Right. And I think that's where the most amount of feedback has come is like, okay, everybody's waiting for the shoe to drop for it to be more difficult than it actually is. We're used to difficult, right? We're used to having four different systems, nothing's connected, it's disconnected. I have to log in at multiple different places. And I guess that's where we were really different in saying, okay, not only if you only want to use this for a CRM, great. If you only want to use this for a DMS, a cloud-based solution, no problem. Maybe it's only a menu you want, but if you're using us for everything, it's also the magic that happens when you put everything in one place is actually what makes us and puts us on the map. What you're saying is, the resistance in change, that's going to happen everywhere. The resistance in learning a new system is going to happen anywhere. And so now, and we've taken dealers where, they just signed up XYZ CRM 6 months ago, and now we're already getting them onto a new one. That that whole pivot has been actually enlightening to hear that, yes, it was easy to transfer over. It was easy to pick up, and from what the old system did, even if this doesn't do exactly the same things, it does three more things that I absolutely love and I know it's going to make my job easier. But even what we're talking about, for me, it was like, okay, CRMs are great. I love CRMs. I love data. Do I love to do the entry? Absolutely not. I don't want to, oh my God, my notes pile up. I've got a stack of business cards. When I was with the bank, I'd have a stack of business cards at the end of the day going, okay, now I got to go into the CRM and, like you say, do what I'm told to do what I have to do. This isn't a tool that makes me necessarily any better on its own. I'm the one that does it. And I think that's where we're really different. Using the system to communicate with the customer is timestamping activity. And so now you're not relying on that manual input, which is where so much information, but so much input drops off, is when we actually have to do it ourselves. I can use the system to send this lovely little sell sheet to a customer, and me doing that action already reported that as a CRM. So even when I was designing this, it was like, okay, what do we hate? We hate to have to do the manual work to do it. How can we alleviate that? Well, just using the system to communicate with the clients is actually creating all of your actions, right? So yeah, just try to think of different ways to overcome. Same with even our menu. A lot of people are used to a one-pager menu. Our menu is a true disclosure menu. So for me, it was about, I took 20 plus, 25 plus years of experience, and I said, what are all the objections I've ever overcame, or ever had to overcome? And what would if I had the perfect tool, what could I use to do that? And so this magical thing happens in disclosure. You're actually overcoming objections before they happen. And even if they rehappen again, you get to touch on and say, yeah, remember we talked about that in the pricing disclosure? That's already taken care of. So for me, it was, we we have a lot of tools in the industry. We have a lot of tools that copied each other. We have a lot of glorified tools, but there was not tools that solved our problems I saw happening in dealerships left, right, and center. For the record, I've stepped in to, I'd say, over 400 dealerships North America wide, from auto to heavy equipment. And so for me, it was, yeah, the mess is so big and so deep and so tall, and we've really given no tools to help with that process. There was no menus when I was looking at menu. There was no menu that allowed me to talk about every solution, guide the conversation, control it a little bit, make sure it's streamlined, and also give the client a takeaway. There was nothing like that. There were one pagers that bundled things, and I'm not opposed to that because it does improve your profit. But for me, it was about true disclosure, giving people the proper tools, and really, through a lot of the development side, I didn't really consult a lot of people. I hate to say it, but anytime you let somebody come in and say, okay, well, my CRM doesn't do that or mine does this, it's like, then I start to taint the path I'm on. And so for me, it was like, put your head down, try to create something that is going to solve multiple solutions or give multiple solutions to multiple problems. Um, you're not going to get, for me, it was also about, I'm going to get my foot in the door with a store on something. If it's not disclosed, it's going to be MotoClose, because I'm going to give you an inexpensive place to showcase your inventory in a multitude of languages with no distracting ads, that's dealer friendly, consumer centric, right? Every pivot and every step for me was really about how can we make it better. And that's why I love always our conversations, Larry, is because this really what you are all about, is leaving it better than you ever found it. And yeah.
But what's interesting, I always like to quote Mark Twain, one of America's great writers. He brilliantly said, everybody complains about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. Interestingly enough, I don't think you can go into any business, and certainly any dealership, and not have people bitch and moan about the computer system. Yeah, it doesn't work, it's off, it crashes. So you're actually saying, well, here's a problem. Let me address it in multiple stress points and see which one I can get in the door. And then if they want to use all 2 or 3 or 4, it just makes it easier. As I said, I just like the ease of the system. And I think Mike is our AI tech and really advanced with this stuff. But he'll tell you sometimes the more bells and whistles, the more chances you have for things to go wrong or to fail or to complicate things. So I don't think you can overestimate how important it is to have ease of operation. Staples, what's the big thing? The easy button. Amazon, everybody hates Amazon, but everybody uses Amazon because you hit a button and your package arrives. So if it's not easy, particularly in a society where everybody is prone to frustration, think how angry people get when it takes 4 extra seconds for their computer to boot up. So under those circumstances, I think you approached it the right way by trying to say, let's make this as user-friendly as possible. Mike, again, you're a cool AI guy, and certainly Brandi is, but how many of these people take what they think a phrase and twist it, user-friendly? And the more they say user-friendly, usually that's how unuser-friendly it is.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? Bouncing off of that, Brandi, I had a presentation, and the dealer principal asked me, bottom line, Mike, is do I got to throw another body at this? Right. And I basically said, no, absolutely not. And I don't want you to throw another body at this. I'm responsible for my product, and I want to go to you having solved your problem with a report after a month saying, here's how much closer we are, and here's what we're going to do in the future, and here's what we need to adjust. When you give the control to them, you get more opportunity for the staff. No matter what they're doing, they're going to go poo it. Why? Because it's not the way we've always done it. I know. So just as far as training goes, when you walk into a new or onboard a new rooftop or a group, is that what you're finding? Is do you have to train everybody in the establishment, or are you getting that pushback? Or, if, for instance, if they don't have their mission, vision, values, which I go over with them, it's going to be a short-lived business relationship, because it's like a boat without a rudder, and we're going round and round and round. If they do have that established, we can go up. But until they get that, I know in the back of my mind, these guys are 3 to 4, maybe 6 months away from just going elsewhere.
And Mike
doing the same thing.
Story. When he told the dealer you didn't have to throw a body at it, he replied, "That's great, because when I wake up my managers, they get very grumpy."
Yeah. We laugh, but it's so true.
But did you see that, Brandi, as far as you need to train them? Or is it, hey, we're going to do all the heavy lifting. Let me show you what we've done, what we're doing, and what we're going to do in the future. Are you finding that? Or
I love that you brought it up, actually, because the one thing that was when we really started to pick up and have a product that I felt confident with, and now we were starting to onboard even a couple pilot stores that were giving them a short period of freebie or whatever that looked like. What I loved, and this is something I actually didn't see coming, was I loved getting to stores and them going, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. This is my problem. This is why this is da, 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 da." And it's like, these are stores that I didn't even see that coming from. And so this is where I realize there's so much to capitalize on their shortcomings, and in the nicest way possible. I say that so nicely because for me, it's like, this is where you tell me your problems. I'm actually not a tech person, not even a little bit. Look at me, I couldn't even make it to the proper meet here, like on time. So I was sitting on the other window for about 5 or so plus minutes. So I'm not a tech person. I'm a solutions person. I use I only just happen to use the technology as the catalyst to solve the problems.
Hey,
And
Brandi,
when we talk about,
you 1 second, because this is important, because you said you started out using it as an F&I connection. And in the little square boxes, we're like the Hollywood squares here, you're right underneath one of the best F&I guys in the whole state. Could you engage with Gary a little bit? Because what he does with F&I and how he's helped dealers stay on the straight and narrow and not only improve profits, but improve CSI, this has got to be music to his ears. So why don't you two just see if you can, what you can hash out there, because it's perfect.
Thank
and
you.
actually, yeah, we were
Thank you.
conversing a little bit. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
love
yeah,
to.
no, and I've reached out to Brandi because I'm very interested in what she's built, because it's over the last, well, I mean, we can go back 30 years and we can watch the evolution of F&I. And now today the stages is what you've built, a solution that, as long as they pay attention to your solution, it's built. They just need to adapt it. And so sorry, I don't know if he's barking. I don't know if he's barking because I'm talking. Tucker, shut up. Maybe the mailman. I'm live. I'm live. All right.
This is in case you were wondering, Brandi, this is why we picked you instead of Garfield. Garfield's afraid of Tucker, so the cat thing didn't work out. So we said, let's go with the Canadian. It was a CA thing. We didn't have to tax Mike Larkin much.
Awesome.
So once I get Tucker to chill out, Brandi. So as we were saying,
I haven't heard this much tail wagging and barking since Mike Larkin
calm
found
yourself.
out.
Calm yourself. Calm yourself. So I talk about an end-to-end solution. So, over the years, if a dealer wanted me to help them become compliant and do it correct, they needed to adopt a menu. That they were going to do a menu on every deal, and there was going to be an accept and a decline. And so now we move forward where everybody was strangled by Reynolds and Reynolds, CDK, and everybody was held hostage there. But now, today, you can do a lot of things and verify via your cell phone. So now I've been working with a lot of companies that you can do the verification process of identity, auto insurance, and you can sell F&I products all through the safety of a cell phone. So what you've built is kind of a warm blanket, and that you've kind of put everything under your umbrella, that we've got it. So while everybody's inside our ecosystem, it's safe. It's not going to get breached. It's not going to get touched. No one, cyber crimes aren't going to be able to steal your customers' information. And you can commute and do the whole deal now, including motor vehicle, banking, and sell F&I products. So that's what your ecosystem is. So when you're in disclose, so you have what I would refer to as cradle to grave. So you provide an adoption where the dealers now, nothing's getting done unless it's getting done in the system. How they negotiate pricing, how they verify credit. And so, there's a couple of other companies that are trying to do similar stuff. Like it's called Otomoto, and they have a software. So I'm looking forward. I know you sent me some information, and this is the beauty of where dealers need to start understanding, where they've been so didn't want to hear about it. if they had a menu provider, they thought that they were finished. But then they didn't realize that they needed to protect the data and they needed to protect the leads. And if they wanted the leads to come in, everything needs to be under the umbrella. I wear the Travelers hat, and the Travelers marketing was years ago, was under the Travelers umbrella. But so your company is a monthly service that they purchase, and that it just basically organizes their selling processes. And that's wonderful. So I've been waiting to hear more. I wish I could hear more if I could have my dog stop barking. Bucket.
Well, I'd even love to show you a demo outside of this, that's for sure. Especially, I do love talking with the industry people, the people that get it, the longtime finance people that that do see the value in it. And for me, it was also, I'm a step seller. My whole career is step seller. I grab my pen and paper, right, and I'm scrapping down what I'm going to present. And I guess for me, it was a lot of it. Also was. I did some training because I went to Mercedes-Benz in Vancouver Island. I did some training locally here at the Mercedes-Benz store. And my excitement, this is 9 years ago. I was super excited. I thought, oh my gosh, Mercedes-Benz is going to give me tools I've never had before. It's going to be a whole different experience. And when I did the training locally, they literally showed me a brochure that had been photocopied probably 20 times. It had been whited out, hand bombed the pricing for whatever that going rate was that day. And I guess to me, it's where I started to fall out of love a little bit. I was like, this is what people are seeing when they come into Mercedes? That part is so not okay for me. You know what I mean? And so, you know, the fact of that we have these solutions that make our job easier, yes, that was always such a focal point, and super simple system, absolutely. But also, what is the client getting? What are we giving them as their takeaway? What experience did they leave? And let me tell you, what I find so funny about this industry is that it doesn't take much to impress, because everybody's shitty. So if you could be just a little bit better, in the nicest way. I don't say everybody's shitty, but we have shitty practices. We are
Brand,
not, like you say, there's no catalyst that actually ensures the client's experience. And that is such a disservice, a disjustice to the whole system. We're actually downplaying what it should feel like by doing that. To me, for myself, it was always, not only did I want to give the client a better experience, that they had something where they went, wow, I've never had anything like this before. For me, it was also about, I've never been treated like this before. You're more excited than me to buy this car. Yes, you should be. This should feel great. And sadly, I feel like we've just kind of taken
well,
away from that too
Br-
much. And that's what
Brandy,
so much of this focus was.
so, when you're in F&I and you have passion about doing it correct, it's very upsetting when you see people not doing it correct. Mike uses the term bad works. And so I would get very frustrated in the industry when you saw really good F&I products being used improperly, being sold for too much money and not explaining things. And so today it's being forced now, where if it's not digital, it's not on a footprint. So I look forward to learning more about it, because I think you have a great solution. And so we'll talk off, because that's what it is. It's moving the customer through a journey very seamlessly so they get everything done. You're not waiting now until the end of the deal to start discussing F&I products. They need to be front and center like everything else. The old school F&I people that just want to wait until the deal's over and see if they can bump is over. And this is where, screens that I like, where the consumer can be right where they are, the finance manager can be right where they are, and have a civil conversation like we're having right here, and go over all the options in a nice manner where they can see the screen and you can talk. So I've got a much clearer idea, and I look forward to finding a good dealer group in New England, and we work together and see if they can, adopt, because everything gets better when they adopt a process. When they adopt a process and they say yes, and then it's down to just training. You have wonderful employees in these dealerships that have been starving for upgrades.
Yes.
And it's always been for years is that the owner would never change the OEM's recommended site. And now the OEM's recommended site are so prehistoric, and you can do backflips and they don't even know how to talk to AI. They can't even communicate. So your solution sounds, and if it's, I'm sure you have approval with F&I Sentinel, and you're on Penn, and you're on all the exchanges where everybody has their providers, where everyone needs to go. And so are you a monthly service on top of, and then it's on top of things? So we'll talk more, because, I was looking forward to having you on here. I wanted to meet you and learn a lot about what you're doing, because that's where I like to sit, because you can do the whole transaction right where you're sitting. Everybody can be disclosed. You can buy and sell in the convenience of your comfort zone. And F&I people need to just learn how to disclose things, and show, and how difficult, show videos, show presentations. I mean, there's enough at your fingertips today with all the providers that you can demonstrate anything on your products on from where we sit to their cell phones or their websites. And that's the convenience of today's modern dealer and the way that they should be conducting F&I sales, because now they got footprints and they got disclosures and they have all their due diligence, so they don't have to be worrying about the FTC or anybody coming in there and saying, why didn't you do this and do that? So,
hey, Mike, did you notice how much Brandi smiled every time Gary said disclosure? A plug within a plug.
That's a great marketing. So see, what'd you say? It's a Brandi brain. When you're in F&I, so you were probably very good that you could take a day where you had 12 or 13 deliveries and get them all done, buttoned up, and funded the next day, while some of your partners are still struggling to get 2 or 3 deals done and chasing. So I would love to have F&I managers like yourself, because all it is just show up with their favorite coffee and buy them lunch every once in a while and just watch them run.
Gary, that's because they forget the 3 things. The things you need to be successful in F&I is you've got to have a good personality, you've got to think long-term with your customer, and you got to follow a process. If any of those 3 are missing, you're going to lag.
Yep. And that's, and there's funny, we'll talk about brain, but F&I brain is different than most, because the F&I brain can manage a dozen things at the same time. But then the problem is that we can't turn it off. So when we're missing information, we need more information. So we start expanding and learning and going down different rabbit holes, and we got to tell ourselves, no, don't go down there. Don't go down there.
Hey, Gary, I got you and Brandi, 2 of the foremost F&I people. Is it true that all F&I people are descendants of the Marquis de Sade? Because there is never a truer sign of torture than people looking at their watch trying to get into the finance office on a Saturday. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to correlate everything.
I've got a solution for that. Larry.
But what you have,
we're gonna have Brandi back on. You're too good, Brandi, and we want to.
Well, no, we're gonna have Brandi, because I hope you have nice videos of your program, because I'm gonna be able to disclose, and
that was a double. Brandi, we're gonna get you back. Obviously, the three of us look forward to working with you here in North America.
I appreciate it.
And
Yeah.
we're excited.
Likewise.
Mr. Larkin, Mr. Silman, any last thoughts for this fine lady who is crossing the border to help all our people?
Can't wait for part 2.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Brandi,
Likewise.
Brandi, your personality is very welcoming, very engaging. Just with the 2 times of meeting with you, terrific. You articulate wonderful, and I look forward to learning your program. And hopefully, it brings a lot of solutions to my market. I would love that.
Yeah. I cannot wait to show you guys in the flesh and blood. That's for sure.
Great.
And for me, transparency is everything. Transparency to the client, but also transparency in what our people are doing. So important. I'm not a hard seller. I'm a soft seller.
Education is what everybody deserves.
Wait a minute.
And there's no more selling.
We got flesh and blood, we got a skeleton, and we got the Marquis de Sade. I defy any Halloween podcast to match up to that.
All right, I got to go take Tucker to the vet, see what's the matter with him. Barking. Good night, everybody. Happy Halloween. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend. It's the last day of the month. What a way. It's good. I hope they let their F&I managers and sales managers with little kids leave early so they can go enjoy the trick-or-treating right now and enjoy it. And on a Friday night is perfect. And then they start a new month tomorrow.
Yeah.
Stay healthy, everybody. Thank you.
Don't
Don't
eat too much candy.
I'm already started on that.
Or eat too much, whatever you want, eh?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good
Happy
weekend,
Halloween.
guys. Live.